And usually they would just take the suit. And that was okay with me because I found you can run a lot faster without a suit on. You know. So I got by, but, you know, Steve doing all right? I can't watch everybody.
Steve, get a hold of yourself. You're throwing off his rhythm.
No, it's the unexpected laugh. That's what it is.
You look good. Things are going great for you, and you got a whole lot of other stuff to tell us about. We got to do a commercial.
Uh-oh.
Cake. I can let you have some cake now during the commercial.
Why not?
We'll be right back here with George Carlin, ladies and gentlemen. George Carlin is here, Emmylou Harris and Ellen Cleghorn, and that Steve, he just dropped down for some Taster's Choice Swiss Mocha coffee. So, George, tell me about your continuing now with your early life growing up.
Yes.
The formative years, the adolescent years. What about women? Did you have any luck with girls when you were a kid?
Well, not so when I was little. And when you know how you would play doctor with girls, you would play doctor. Yeah. Well, usually when I would be examining them, I would find something wrong, you know.
Really?
Yeah. I would say, good God, girl, you've got an aneurysm here.
Oh, my goodness.
It's either that or hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. I knew a lot of stuff. And I said, we need more tests.
You were an excellent diagnostician.
That's right. I'd put them on the back of my tricycle and take them straight to emergency. If it was something not too serious, like high blood pressure, I'd just, you know, write them a prescription and take 6 Tootsie Rolls 4 times a day.
That's cute, yeah.
They liked me, you know.
So now, did you ever get beyond that as far as your development with the opposite sex?
No, not really. Kind of stayed at that level right through my 40s. Yeah.
Well, it probably paid off, though, by the time you got to your 40s. Yeah, a lot of grateful women.
I was just, and I was strange, you know. I mean, that's what it was. You know how you get baseball cards with bubble gum? I would keep the gum, throw away the cards, because I was convinced that someday the gum would be worth a lot of money.
Right. How's that working out?
It didn't, but hey, it was a 50-50 shot.
Yeah, it could have gone either way, of course. It's not a bad bet.
I could just as easily have been right. You know, I was a strange kid. When they'd say, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'd tell them I'd like to be a wholesale distributor of preformed aluminum. So there's something wrong, you know. In school, they would say, you have an excellent mind, it's just not readily apparent to an outside observer.
Right. Well, what good does that do you?
Not a bit.
I don't know.
Nothing. Well, I'm sitting here.
Well, yeah, there you go. So is he.
Well, that's true. Well, the family was strange. I came from a strange family.
I happen to know one thing about you. Yeah. I think you were named, you got the name George from an uncle, I think.
George.
Is that right? Am I right about that?
That's right, Uncle George. And I would tell you Uncle George's story, but I think that I couldn't do justice to it. If you give me a pass on that, I'd like to come back and tell you about Uncle George. I have something I can fill with.
I'm going to have to go to the judges on this.
Yeah, what do you think? Okay.
Can we give him a pass on this?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, the judges say sure.
But I would say that here's a hint. George and I both came from this odd family. We had a family motto, quid erat pro sedantus, which, well, one half of the family says it means, what is going on here? And the other half says it means, may I have my hat back? So,
either way, it's not bad.
No, not bad.
All purpose.
And they were just, there was a family secret. There was a family secret, and when I was 12 years old, I found this out. And I went to my parents and I said, what's the family secret? And they said, we don't know. It's a secret.
It's just that good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was sad. It was really sad. My father always wore a 3-piece suit. You know, it didn't have a vest. The jacket was torn in half. Is what it was. And
I don't even know what that.
I don't know
can't
either,
even figure out in my mind what that.
Yeah.
Doesn't even make any sense. But they.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mother she was one of the earliest diagnosed. She had 16 different personalities. Oh. Unfortunately, they were all unpleasant. So I did what I could. And
You're a lucky man, George.
I got here.
You're a survivor.
That's right.
You've prevailed, and now you're enjoying the good life.
And I'm going to do another HBO show right up the street at the Beacon Theater. Still about 6 months away.
In March or so.
Yeah.
And this weekend, did we mention you're going to be in Maine at the
University of Maine at Orono for 2 shows on Saturday.
Always a pleasure to have you here, George.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thanks very much. Nice to see you.
George Carlin, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Yes, sir-ree. Now, the other nice thing about Disney owning New York City now. Remember the old days when New York City was interesting and entertaining in and of itself enough that you didn't need an amusement park to come in and run the town? Well, it's not. New York City is not nearly as much fun as it used to be. That's why we've called the folks at Disney in. The other good thing about Disney, they have the big Disney store. Where is it, Paul? You're a part of the Disney family now.
I am now, yeah.
Where is
it's 42nd and 7th
That's right. And you can go in there. Now listen to this. Get yourself one of those Mickey Mouse T-shirts. You know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
And a set of ears.
Yeah.
It's like a 50-50 blend, poly-cotton blend, the T-shirt.
Poly-cotton blend.
In a month, you know,
What's the thread count
it's a hanky. You know, wash it, and then when you have a cold, it just, oh, look, a hanky. So you can get yourself one of those shirts and the mouse ears, the injection molded plastic mouse ears, $160.
Really? They get that much for
That's
it?
right. That's right. Now, whereas if you go all the way to Orlando, it's a $200 value. Our first guest is one of the all-time greats of stand-up comedy and the author of this new best-selling book right here entitled Brain Droppings. Here is the very funny George Carlin. George?
How are you? How's everybody? Okay? Doing all right? Thank you very much. That's all right. Please. Thank you. Thank you. That's nice. You know, we have a lot of little expressions in the English language that we use all the time. Most of us use them every day, and we never really seem to examine these expressions very carefully at all. We just sort of say these things as if they really made sense. Like, legally drunk. Well, if it's legal, what's the problem? Leave my friends alone, officer. They're legally drunk. You know where you can stick it. Well, why do we always assume everyone knows where they can stick it? Suppose you don't know. Suppose you're a new guy. Huh? You have absolutely no idea where to stick it. I think there ought to be a government booklet entitled Where to Stick It. Now that I think of it, I believe there is a government booklet like that. They send it to you on April 15th. Undisputed heavyweight champion. Well, if it's undisputed, what's all the fighting about? Undisputed means we all agree. These two guys are whacking the crap out of each other over something apparently they agree on. Down the tubes. You hear that one a lot? Yeah, the country is going down the tubes. What tubes? Have you seen any tubes? Where are these tubes? And where do they go? And how come there's more than one tube? It would seem to me one country, one tube. What, does every state all of a sudden have to have its own private tube now? One tube is all you need. But a tube that big, somebody would have seen it by now. Takes the cake. You know, say, boy, he really takes the cake. Where? Where do you take a cake? To the movies? You know where I would take a cake? Down to the bakery to see the other cakes. And hey, how come he takes the cake? How come you don't take the pie? Pie is easier to carry than the cake. Easy as pie. Hold on. Cake is not too hard to carry either. Piece of cake. Fine and dandy. That's an old-fashioned one, isn't it? Say to a guy, how are ya? She's fine and dandy. Not me. I never say that. You know how come? Because I'm never both of those things at the same time. Sometimes I'm fine, not dandy. Close to dandy, approaching dandy, in the vicinity of dandyhood. Not quite fully dandy. Other times, I am indeed highly dandy. However, not fine. One time, 1968, August, for about an hour, I was both fine and dandy at the same time. But nobody asked me how I was. Here's another one, the Riot Act. The Riot Act. They keep telling you they're going to read that to you. Have you heard this thing at all? Especially when you're a kid, they like to threaten you. You wait till your father comes home, he's going to read you the Riot Act. Tell him I already read it myself. And I didn't like it either. I consider it wordy and poorly thought out. He wants to read me something. How about the Gentleman's Guide to the Golden Age of Tongue Kissing? One more of these. More than happy. How about you say that sometimes, don't you? Once in a while, don't you say to somebody, oh, I'd be more than happy to do that. How can you be more than happy? To me, this sounds like a dangerous mental condition. We had to put Steve in the mental home. He was, whoa, more than happy. There you go.
Nice job. Good to see you again. We'll be right back here with George Carlin. George Carlin is here. Nice job, George.
Thank you.
Very funny as always.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here. How you doing? Everything going all right?
Doing pretty well. You know, I turned 60 about a month ago.
Congratulations.
60, and
good for you.
they always do that. People always applaud because you're still alive. It's good. But oddly enough, I've started ovulating again, Dave. I have, yes, and lactating.
Well,
so
that could be a deadly combination.
Yeah, I do like to announce these things on your show.
But you know, you're always working, which is great. I mean, I think that's
Yeah.
one of the keys to staying young.
Absolutely, and staying healthy. And I'm working right this minute.
Right, sure. Yeah.
I mean, as pleasant a fellow as you are, this is still work. I'm getting paid for this.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and you're not going to snap tonight, are you? Something like that?
No.
Because I keep reading these articles. People think you're going to snap.
You just never know. I might snap. Yeah.
Snap on your own time, okay, Dan? On the way home, I'm sure you'll be okay.
But you mentioned that you're 60 years old, and
well, I got a few things, in fact, I've been working on.
Really?
Well, I always, some of these things that are so new, one has to commit them to paper instead of memory.
Right.
But these are things I've been working on. You call me silly, Dave. Call me silly. But I've always wanted to try to come up with a personal ad for the newspaper that no one would answer.
Oh, yes. Excellent challenge.
That you would absolutely get no replies.
No response, no interest whatsoever.
And I think I have it.
Oh, good. All right.
Elderly, accident-prone, severely depressed alcoholic coal miner, interested in Canadian food and Norwegian folk dancing, seeks wealthy, attractive, sexually starved, well-built woman in her late teens, must be non-smoker. I think that might work.
I think that comes pretty close.
No mailman ever. And the other thing, and
you have another project that you're working
you'll
on?
understand why these had to be committed to paper.
Sure.
Always been trying to come up with a single sentence that would contain, or at least refer to, all of the 7 deadly sins.
One sentence referencing each of the 7 deadly sins.
Right.
Yeah.
And
that's never been done, I don't think.
No, and not in any of the religion books I mentioned or read. We want to remember the 7 deadly sins, by the way, just for reference here. Greed, anger, pride, lust, gluttony, sloth, and envy. So here's my sentence. Okay. I'm really angry that I, a superior human being in every way, have less money than my neighbor, whose wife I would love to nail if only I weren't so busy sleeping and eating pork chops. That might have worked. I think I got it.
Is eating pork chops? I'm sorry.
Gluttony.
Oh, gluttony.
Yeah.
But they don't single out pork chops.
No, but one has to be specific in comedy.
I see. Well, I think you've come very close on both counts there.
Yeah.
Nice going. But, you know, your career has been so successful. You know, when you look back, you're a man who's worked like 3 decades or longer.
Actually 4. This is my 40th year in comedy, 20 years on HBO, and 60 years roaming around unattended in the environment. And now that I'm 60, there's something I'd like to announce or ask. It's sort of a request plus an announcement. From now on, I would like to be known by a different name.
Really?
If it's okay.
Sure.
Yeah. I would like from now on for people to call me Cannonball.
Yeah. Cannonball Carlin.
Cannonball Carlin.
It has a nice
and it's not asking a lot. It's not asking a lot.
I think not. No, absolutely.
An occasional hi, Cannonball.
Yeah.
Hey, Cannonball, how's it going? Maybe even Dave. Yo, Cannonball, what'd it be like? I might just get that. We'll see.
Now,
aren't you nice? Aren't you nice?
Do you have any regrets, Cannonball?
No. Well, perhaps a few. May I say also, being 60, because I want to slip this in to a lot of people, now that I'm really kind of a really big figure in Hollywood, kind of a Hollywood figure.
Powerful man in Hollywood.
Yes, powerful man, megastar. Have you noticed the word star evolved? First, star was okay. Clark Gable was a star, didn't bother him.
No.
Then there were too many stars, and they had to come up with superstar. Michael Jackson's a superstar.
That's right, sure.
Too many superstars now. Megastar. So now that I'm at this stage, people ask me, now that you're 60, are you going to get any plastic surgery? You know, because this is the big thing out there. And I had a little on my nose. I had an automobile accident. I've had a little sort of like medical plastic surgery.
You just look to me like a man who has lived life.
Lived life and don't need a lot of fixing, except I am thinking of having my handwriting altered surgically. They do this by shortening your fingers. Have you heard of this?
No, it's fairly new.
It's fairly new. They take off several centimeters of finger, and it alters how you hold the pen. And what really is good about it, first of all, it freezes your current autographs at their present value forever.
Because you can never duplicate it. That's right, sure.
And your new ones, because there are none yet, worth a fortune.
Wow.
Isn't that great? Because anything that there is nothing of is worth a lot. I think you know that.
Oh, my.
Plastic surgery. I had another plastic surgery thing, and I can't... Oh, I know what it was. I'm thinking, just thinking of this, going to the plastic surgeon and asking him to give me a puzzled look. Wouldn't that be good? You know, to go in the office and just say to him, Doctor, can you make me look like this permanently?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Is that it?
I'm not sure that's puzzlement.
Isn't puzzlement?
I'm not sure.
I better check.
Might be.
I wouldn't want to get it and have the wrong look.
No. Go through the catalog.
Yeah. Do they have that?
Yeah.
Perplexed. Maybe that's closer to perplexed.
Now, your book is doing pretty well. The
book is doing, I'm so happy. It's number 9 on the next New York Times list that comes out. And just if I can make a little descriptive plug, it's not an autobiography or a memoir. It is a lot of comedy stuff. And only 2 things are from the past that people might know. Just 2 things from the past. One is stuff, a place for my stuff, and the other is baseball and football. Everything else is brand new.
Right. Great.
Yeah.
Now, you were to be with us, I believe, about 6 weeks ago.
That's right.
And as everyone knows by now, you suffered a great loss in your life. Your wife died.
Yeah.
First of all, I would like to thank you for coming back after the ordeal. And just you seem to be doing very well. I hope you are.
Well, Kelly and I, my daughter, you know, you bang back and forth between reason and emotion. You're using your mind. You're away from it a while. Then you you hit it again. Sure. So, you know, it's the normal life. Up, down, left, right, forward, and back.
And, of course, we'll be with you forever now.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Right. Best partner anyone could have had, Brenda.
But you're doing well.
Thank you, I am.
Good, sir.
Yes.
Pleasure to see you.
Thank you very much.
George Carlin, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. So we'll check in on those gentlemen from time to time. That's a nice story. I've been cutting Walter's hair for 30 years there at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. Our first guest is a legendary comedian and the author of this best-selling book right here. It's called Brain Droppings, which was recently published in the very popular paperback format. Do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome the always entertaining George Carlin. George.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much, and how do you do? I'm here tonight to talk about sports. To my way of thinking, there are only 3 sports in this country: baseball, basketball, and football. Everything else is a game or an activity. Nothing else qualifies as a sport as far as I'm concerned. Hockey comes to mind. People think hockey is a sport. Hockey is not a sport. Hockey is 3 activities going on at the same time: ice skating, playing with a puck, and beating the crap out of somebody. But these people, if they had any imagination, they would do these things one at a time. First, you go ice skating, then you play with a puck, then you go to the bar and beat the crap out of somebody. Another reason hockey is not a sport: it's not played with a ball. Anything that isn't played with a ball can't be a sport. Hockey is played with a puck. What is a puck? I never heard of a puck outside of hockey. Have you ever heard of a puck? The only place you see a puck outside of hockey is in the urinal in the men's room to control the odor. Yes. And as far as I'm concerned, any game where the main object came out of the men's room definitely is not a sport. Soccer is not a sport because you can't use your arms. Anything where you can't use your arms can't be a sport. Tap dancing isn't a sport. I rest my case. Running. People think running is a sport. Running is not a sport because everybody can do it. I can run. You can run. My mother can run. You don't see her on the cover of Sports Illustrated, do you? People say, I'm going to run down to the store and buy a loaf of bread. Fine. It's not a sport. I'm not going to pay money to watch you buy a loaf of bread. Swimming. Swimming is not a sport. Swimming is a way to keep from drowning. That's just common sense. Right. Another water activity, sailing. Sailing is not a sport. Sailing is a way to get somewhere. Riding a bus isn't a sport. Why in hell should sailing be a sport? And boxing. Boxing is definitely not a sport. Boxing is a way to beat the crap out of somebody. In that respect, boxing is a more sophisticated form of hockey. But beating the crap out of someone is definitely not a sport, in spite of what the police think. When police brutality becomes an Olympic event, fine, then boxing can be a sport. Bowling is not a sport because you have to rent the shoes. All right? Don't forget. Right. These are my rules. I make them up. Billiards is not a sport. Billiards is not a sport because there's no chance for serious injury. Unless you welch on a bet in a tough neighborhood. Then, if you see someone with a pool cue sticking out of this portion of his anatomy, you know that might just be a sports-related injury. All right? Gymnastics. Gymnastics is not a sport because Romanians are good at it. Don't forget, my rules, I make them up. Polo. Polo is not a sport. Polo is golf on horseback. Interesting concept, not a sport. And water polo, I don't even want to talk about water polo because it's extremely cruel to the horses. Which brings me to hunting. You think hunting is a sport? Ask the animals. The only good thing about hunting is the many accidents that take place on the weekends. Which brings me to auto racing. Now we're talking serious injury, folks. I don't know about you, but that's what I'm looking for in auto racing: a nice crash and a car fire. Hey, I don't care who wins these races. It's the same 5 rednecks who win them all the time anyway. What do I care? I don't care. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. Driving 500 miles in a circle does not impress me. Then we have tennis. Tennis is very trendy. It's not a sport. Tennis is actually a form of ping pong. In fact, tennis is ping pong played while standing on the table. All of these sports. Yes. As a matter of fact, all racket sports are derivatives of ping pong. Even volleyball is racketless team ping pong played with an inflated ball and a raised net while standing on the table. Which leaves us with golf. Golf. You ever watch golf on television? It's like watching flies fornicate. Frankly, I get more excited picking out socks. Golf might be a fun thing to do if you could do it alone, but it's these insufferable nitwits you have to hang around with that makes it such an appalling pastime. Think of the brains it takes to play golf. Think of this. Here's the object. You hit a ball with a crooked stick, and then you walk after it. And then you hit it again. I say pick it up, put it in your pocket, and get the hell home. You're lucky you found it in the first place.
George Carlin.
All right.
Nice going, buddy.
Okay.
We'll be right back. Nice job.
Hey,
we'll
I'll
be
be
right back with George Carlin. Hotel there in Beverly Hills. It's a pretty good gig for Walter. He goes in there, gets his hair washed, and he's on TV at the same time.
Can't beat that with a beating machine.
How you doing? Nice to see you again.
I'm doing very well, thanks. I had my did my annual physical.
Oh, good.
They
good.
found a spot on my lung.
Oh.
Fortunately for me, barbecue sauce.
Oh, that's great.
But I'm feeling pretty good. I finished a chapstick this week. And I always feel good when when a little nub won't go in anymore, keeps falling out. Then I know I've done my work. Yeah. But I'm doing pretty good.
Now, you mentioned sports. By the way, it's very, very funny, the discussion of sports. Now, is there any sport that you play
well,
or
I played.
follow?
I don't play anymore. I played basketball. You ever hear of the St. Louis Pimps? That was us. That was us. Yeah.
No, I never.
Know what our colors were? Flesh tone and green. And I was good. I was good. They retired my jersey, actually.
Is that right?
Yeah, well, for sanitary purposes.
I see.
But they put it up on the rafters just so no one would have to get too close to it, you know? But I'm convinced to this day, though, that if I'd have been a lot taller, a lot stronger, and a lot faster, and been able to shoot the ball a whole lot better, I could have been a decent player. Trouble was...
so close.
Oh, yeah. Trouble was I wasn't fast.
Yeah.
Just wasn't my... You know who was fast? My brother, D'Artagnan. I've told you about him.
Yeah.
Fast. He was so fast, one time in a football game, he blocked a kickoff.
Wow.
Yeah. That's speedy.
Is that legal? I don't think I've ever seen that.
No, it's not legal. He found that out, you know.
Never seen
But he was
that done.
enthusiastic.
Oh,
enthusiastic,
sure, yeah. Starting off the game like that.
So that's about the history of my
Have you been watching the NBA Finals?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. I like people under pressure, and but you see the games and you realize they could improve these games. Just a few little rules changes. For instance, I would have a 2-second shot clock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just bang.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, speed the game up. As soon as the ball's inbound, get that sucker up in the air. I don't think professional ball players should need 24 seconds to figure out a shot. You know what I mean?
I mean, we all know where it's going.
That's right.
Exactly.
Another thing I would do in basketball, at the center court line, for 10 feet on either side of the center court line, I would have a gasoline fire. Wouldn't that be good? Yeah. Yeah.
You talk the whole game?
Yes, the whole game. You talk about the fast break. This is the really fast break.
Yeah.
Here's something else. You know how sometimes these games get one-sided in the fourth quarter,
sure.
18 points difference? I would allow 25 points for any ball that goes in the basket off an opponent's head. Yeah, you'd see some good fistfights in those one-sided games.
That's a 25-point shot.
Yes.
Wow.
And you'd increase the chance for serious injury.
Yeah.
Which is what I like. I like penalties, injuries, and fights. That's why I'm looking. If I want to see winners, I'll watch the Oscars. You know what I mean? What else? Oh, another thing in basketball, I would allow 30, maybe 40, somewhere between 30 and 40 personal fouls.
So just a fist fight all
Once
night
again,
long.
increase the chances of serious injury. Football, I have a good idea for football. I think all 45 players should be allowed to play at the same time. You know? Just let them get in there. What's this stuff standing around watching the game? Put on a helmet, get in there, and hurt someone. You know what I mean? Here's another thing. In football, I would leave the injured on the field. Yes. Yes. Leave them out there. Well, you know.
Play around him?
play around them.
They'd be in play.
They'd be in play,
Yeah.
and you know, they're always talking about how it's a big war going on out there. Fine, let the Red Cross come around and pick these people up. Another thing I would do in football, I would allow the winning team to spike the losing coach.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, after the Gatorade bath, then the losers get a chance.
Dump him on his head.
Just bounce that sucker, you know?
This, George, this book now out in paperback, which means to me that you want to make all the money, because I know the hardbound copy did incredibly well, didn't it?
It did. 360,000 hardcover. I'm really happy to say that.
Nice going,
and
buddy.
it's coming back. Get this. Father's Day. Good Father's Day gift, Dave. Yeah.
It's good to see you again.
Thank you.
Have a lovely spring and a great summer. Come back, come back, get a haircut someday.
I'll get a haircut, and I'll do a stand-up for you.
George Carlin, ladies and gentlemen. Our first guest is a big star in the world of comedy. He's been doing stand-up for 40 years, and it's an amazing accomplishment and quite a record. And recently, he has released this 7-disc box set entitled George Carlin, The Little David Years. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, George Carlin.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Dave. You know, I don't talk about myself on these shows very much, but I had a traffic accident last week that I think I ought to tell you about. And there are a couple of things about me you got to know before I begin. I drive kind of recklessly. I take a lot of chances. I don't repair my vehicle, and I don't believe in traffic laws. So over the course of time, I tend to have quite a high number of traffic accidents. And last week, I either ran over a sheep or I ran over a small man wearing a sheepskin coat. And I don't know because I didn't stop. I do not stop when I have a traffic accident. Do you? Do you? No, you can't. You can't. Hey, who has time? Huh? These days, who has time? Not me. I hit somebody, I run somebody over, I keep moving. Especially if I've injured someone. I do not get involved in that. I'm not a doctor. I've had no medical training. I'm just another guy out driving around looking for a little fun and confusion. These people you ran over have enough troubles of their own without you stopping and making things worse. They've just been in a major traffic accident. The last thing they need is for you to stop and get out of your car and go over to the fire, because by now it is a fire, and start bothering them with a lot of stupid questions. Are you hurt? Well, of course they're hurt. Look at all the blood. You just ran over them with 1.5 tons of steel. Of course they're hurt. Leave these people alone. Haven't you done enough? At long last, haven't you done enough? For once in your life, do the decent thing. Don't get involved. Keep moving. Well, in the first place, it's none of your business. Simple as that, none of your business. The whole thing took place outside of your car. Legally speaking, that's right. That's true. That's right, thank you. You're probably late for dinner as it is. Yeah. Now, let me say, on the other hand, if I should be out driving around looking for a little fun, and I see a traffic accident, one that I'm not involved in, I stop immediately. People don't like that. Police don't like it, you know. They say you're rubbernecking, say you're blocking traffic. Never mind that crap. I want to take a look. I'm never too busy that I can't stop to enjoy someone else's suffering. And I'll tell you something else. Thank you. Thank you. I'll tell you something else, and you might not like this, but as far as I'm concerned, the bigger the accident, the better it is. Well, I'm looking for a little entertainment. You know my favorite accident? 2 buses and a chicken truck. Get hit by a circus train in front of a flea market. Well, I want to see something interesting. I'm looking for a freak show. I want to see a neck sticking out of a gas tank. If I'm going to take the time to stop, I expect to be entertained. Let me say this. If I happen to be in such a position in my car where I can't quite see what's going on, can't get a good look, I'm not the least bit shy about asking the police to bring the bodies over a little closer to the car. That's what they're here for, to protect, to serve, and to bring the bodies over a little closer to the car. Pardon me, officer, would you mind bringing that twisted chap over a little closer to the car, please? My wife has never seen anyone shaped quite like that. Look at that, honey. That's his rib cage sticking out of the glove compartment. Thank you, officer. That will be enough. Well, you can throw him back on the pile. We'll be moving along. And off I go out onto the highway looking for a little fun. Perhaps a tanker truck filled with toxic waste will explode in front of the Pokemon factory.
George Carlin, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back to visit with our friend George Carlin. All right, George Carlin, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me about Thanksgiving experiences you've had. Anything? Is it pretty much just everybody's Thanksgiving, or you do unconventional kind of things?
Well, we don't have turkey anymore.
Really?
No, we got a little tired of that.
Yeah.
Last year we had a stork.
Stork?
Stork is good. The year before that, an ostrich.
Oh, yeah.
And the trouble is, two problems with the ostrich. It takes about 200 or 300 pounds of stuffing and about 6 or 8 people to break the wishbone. But it makes a hell of a noise. And we just enjoy it.
Well, the noise, that's festive in its own right.
Boom!
Yeah, it's time to eat.
Yeah.
Do you, as a kid growing up, do you have a certain memory that you like to?
Well, my favorite Thanksgiving story is about my favorite uncle, Uncle George, the one I was named after.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. I had a lot of uncles. I didn't know my father at all. This is all true stuff, kind of punched up for comedy, but I didn't know my father. When I was about 2 months of age, he was asked to leave.
Really?
Yeah, he apparently didn't metabolize ethanol very successfully. So he was asked to leave when I was 2 months. I believe he came back once when I was 7, but it was merely because he'd forgotten his hat. So I got to know my uncles. Very well. And on Thanksgiving, they would all come over and pretty much drink themselves into a stupor, you know. Uncles and aunts. Nobody metabolized anything rather well in my family. Aunt Edith was especially impressive. She would always bring 2 bottles of wine. One for herself and the other one for herself. So I got to know my uncles pretty well, except for George. Yeah. They didn't talk about George. George was one of those uncles they don't talk about. Seems that George was in the custody of other people. So I got to be about 8 or 9 years old, and I got curious. I am curious, George. I got curious, and I said, "Okay, folks, what's the deal on Uncle George? Where is he?" And they sat me down. They said, "George is in the nut house."
Oh.
They didn't pull punches in our family. We didn't say mental hospital, psychiatric facility, nut house. I personally have always preferred the term hoo-hoo hotel, which I think you'd like. Yes. I think, yes. I think my aunt tried to soften the blow. She said George does not have both feet in the end zone.
So I understood. The pros.
But I'll tell you what happened to him. It was a very simple story. He was about 18 or 19 years old, and he took off all his clothes. Unfortunately, he was not home at the time. He was on the 59th Street crosstown bus. And he didn't bother anybody, just took off his clothes, probably folded them neatly. Right. And they told him, at that time, by the way, it wasn't really a bus, it was a trolley, so he had the distinction of being one of the few people who was both on his trolley and off his trolley at the same time.
Yeah.
So they told him, they said, "Don't do that, George, don't do that." And he said, "Oh, okay." And what do you know, next day, did it again.
Oh, no.
Yeah, same clothes, different trolley.
Right.
And they put him up in Orangeburg.
Did they ask him why? What was he?
No, I don't think they asked that in those days. I think he just went up to Orangeburg. Orangeburg, New York.
He was just looking to make friends as well?
Well, he was a friendly guy. I think so, yes. It might have been comparative anatomy, for all I know. Who knows? Might have been going to ask someone else to do the same thing next. But he wound up in Building 17 at Rockland State Hospital.
I'm sorry.
Well, it was okay. Because toward the end, they let him come home. Toward the end of his days up there. He was doing pretty well. They said, he still has one wheel in the sand, but he's doing pretty well. So we'll let him come home.
Yeah, that's good.
And he came home on Thanksgiving, and he was sitting next to me, naturally. Birds of a feather. Put him next to me.
I think the theory for letting him home was that his condition would go largely unnoticed in a family like mine. And right in the middle of Thanksgiving dinner, he leans over to me, and I didn't notice anything wrong with him, by the way. He came home, he painted pictures, he played the piano, he smoked a lot of wing cigarettes, and I didn't notice anything wrong. I didn't know why he was away. So until Thanksgiving dinner, he leaned over to me at one point, and they're just doing the normal things, congratulating each other on the mashed potatoes. And he leaned over to me, covered his mouth, and he said, "I'm an admiral."
Oh.
And I was impressed because, first of all, well, I didn't even know they had a Navy in Orangeburg, for one thing. And truly, I was impressed and I was pleased because, not that he was an admiral, I knew he was really a nut.
Yeah.
That kind of made me happy. So that's sort of my pointless Thanksgiving story.
Let's talk about the box here of comedy. What this represents stuff that has been released on previous records, stuff that has never been released.
Well,
right?
there's one.
Oh, look at that! You get the thing. You get your mouth opening.
Lenticular. There are 6 albums there.
Wow.
6 albums.
Now that right there is entertainment.
Isn't that nice? You know it. I did 6 albums in the 1970s, and 4 of them were gold albums, and the other 2, I think, aluminum, perhaps lead, I'm not sure. Some non-ferrous metal. And we put them all in here with the original artwork. That's what I love. I know that a lot of re-releases, they put it in a jewel box, but these are actually like the old albums. They fold out, they have the same sleeves in them, everything. But the 7th disc in here is my pride and joy. It's a bonus disc. Gotta have a bonus, Dave. This has a lot of things that an hour's worth, hour and 10 minutes of things that were never on records before. Didn't make it. You could only get 45 minutes on an LP. So we put them all, Atlantic and I, we put them all on these. So it's a lot of things for people who are real nuts and fans, you know, let them hear those things. And included are childhood tapes that I made. I used to go to the little booths around here in 42nd Street.
Make your own little records?
Make my own record for a quarter. You put it in, you talk for a minute. And they're on there.
So we have a collection then of you from what age to the present day? From what?
Technically speaking, from about 11 up until the late 70s, actually. It cuts off there.
Right. So a good part of your life is represented here in this collection.
That's right. Even my disc jockey theme song is on there.
Excellent.
God.
Good for you. Thank you very much, George.
Thank you, Dave.
Nice piece of work. Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
George Carlin, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with Jewel.
Thank you.
Our first guest is a 3-time Grammy Award winner, a best-selling author, and a bona fide comedy legend. Here's George Carlin, everybody. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Feeling good?
You look great. You look very nice.
Yeah, well, I'm just getting over a touch of anthrax, but I feel okay.
Really?
And the cholera came back.
So you've had some medical problems?
Yeah, but I look good. And like you say, I look good. And that's all that counts.
That's really all that matters.
My mother used to say that. She'd say, doesn't matter, I don't care how you feel, as long as you look all right. She had a kind of a wisdom, you know.
I think that's true.
Well, the thing is, I'm 63 now. But that's 17 Celsius. So, you know,
Doesn't make any sense.
yeah.
So that's pretty good. You're only
When I go to-
17 Celsius.
When I go to Canada, I feel really young. You
I
know?
would think so. Sure.
And had a lot of tests, though.
Oh, you had some
I know
testing?
I'm doing okay because you know, we both had heart stuff. And
Yeah. Are you a bit of a hypochondriac?
Not at all.
Really?
Not at all. No, but I watch things and I act on them when I see them. They give you they recommend a breast exam now for men as well. Yeah, there's apparently some need for the breast exam, and I had that. They found a little lump, but you know what? Piece of broccoli. Piece of broccoli. Yeah.
You had a piece of broccoli stuck in your breast.
I was in a lot of food fights in the 70s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, in the 70s, forget about it.
Yeah, of course. But while I was in there, I wanted to tell you about these. Something you might be interested in. While I was in there, I overheard something.
Yeah.
I was in a semi-private room. The guy next to me, well, it was last minute, you know.
Oh,
I'd rather be alone.
Of course I would.
I'd rather be alone. But this guy, he wasn't any bother. He had a huge bandage, practically around his whole head.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, like his whole head. I couldn't see him all the way. And there was a little bit of oxygen place, you know. And his brother, apparently it was his brother, came in and was talking to him. It was just the weirdest thing. The brother says, Jeff, I'm going to do it, kind of remember it for you, okay?
Okay, sure.
And he says, Jeff,
your skull is healing very nicely. It's healing very nicely, but they're going to have to reset it. So basically that means they're going to have to break it again.
Right.
And reset it, because it looks odd. Yeah, it looks odd. They said it looks funny. The nurses were laughing.
Well, that ain't right.
No. He says, the doctors will be in a few minutes. There's 6 of them. They said they want you to not move around a lot when they're using the hammers.
Oh, hammers.
Yeah.
Several hammers.
Because they can't use an anesthetic. It's dangerous.
Oh.
So they want you to hold on real tight to the edge of the bed. And try to relax.
Relax is the key.
Key thing.
That would be the
in
key.
any medical procedure.
That's right.
And then this is the twist, though. Then he says, and by the way, Jeff, while they got your head open, they're going to put some fire ants in there.
Fire ants?
Just a few. He said, just a few. He was reassuring him, you know. And he says, the fire ants have been given PCP. It's kind of an experimental thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of primitive to me, though.
Oh, it's the kind of thing you don't want to hear when you're
No,
whether you're him or me.
Exactly, that's right.
Either person.
Can't be good news for anybody.
No.
Now, did you happen to see the Academy Awards? I bet you watched them.
Yeah. And, I'm just not very good at picking movies, I guess. Yeah. I had a favorite that wasn't even nominated. I don't know what happened. And I thought it had a good chance because it was about a guy with a medical condition.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that's always big. That's an automatic Oscar.
I think so.
Rain Man, Love Story, My Left Foot, you know, automatic.
Yeah, sure.
And this was a thing called Get Off My Back. Yeah, it was about a pair of Siamese twins. And, yeah, well, let me tell you. It's really odd. Wait till you hear the story.
A documentary or?
No, this is a fictional film, a feature.
Yeah.
Feature. A pair of Siamese twins, and one of them commits suicide.
Oh.
And the other, and he has it in his will that he's not to be separated even after death.
Yeah.
So the brother has to basically carry him around.
Oh my goodness.
And he doesn't like that. Because they didn't get along. They were both in love with the same double mint twin.
Double mint twins.
So there's bad blood, you might say.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. So that got nothing, not a nomination.
Not a sign of it last night, nor in the nominations. Then there was a foreign language film I was interested in. That was it's a German film with Swiss subtitles. It's
No, wait a minute. What?
Yeah.
Swiss.
Well,
Swiss.
It's just odd.
Yeah,
know?
it's Swiss. Really?
My tastes are eclectic.
That's strange.
It's called Hansel. And basically, it's the story of Hansel and Gretel without Gretel. Yeah. In this thing, well.
Oh, wait a minute. Hansel?
Yeah, without Gretel. She's not in there. What happens in this version, she dies, unfortunately, at childbirth, and so it's an in-depth study of Hansel alone. Kind of thing you would have called an art film years ago. Yeah. Documentary. You mentioned that. This is one you probably liked. Walking. Did you see Walking?
I saw
Well,
it. No.
partially filmed in Indiana.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's my home state forever.
I know that. And I was there recently. I saw the headline, Elk Scandal Widens. That was the headline. I sent you that. I guess you never got it. That was that, yeah. Same day they were making peace in the Middle East. Anyway.
The headline.
Elk Scandal Widens. Top
Page
of the
one, yeah.
top. But on this documentary, it's called Walking. It's a story of a guy who takes a long walk from Vincennes, Indiana.
Oh, I know where that is.
To Durango, Colorado.
Yeah.
And along the way, nothing happens. So it's basically a nice story about how little can happen on a long walk.
I see. Does he go out I-70?
Yeah, right out 70. You know the area.
All right. We'll be right back here with our friend George Carlin, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen,
Freezing.
George, will you be writing more books? How many books have you actually published? Quite a few.
Well, I have some of them are under a different name, but the Brain Droppings was the big one.
It was a huge hit, wasn't it?
That was under
bestseller.
Yeah, 700,000 of them.
Wow.
And the follow-up to that comes out in April, by the way.
What is that going to be?
Napalm and Silly Putty, same kind of book.
Really?
Yeah, same kind of book, but it'll be out late April. But I've been involved in a long-term thing, a long-term project, and I mentioned this here once before. I don't want to repeat myself, so I'll tell you, I'll pick it up where it was.
Okay.
This is something I'm humble just to even talk about it, but I'm writing a sequel to the Bible. It's a sequel, yeah.
And did somebody ask you to write this?
No, it was self-generated.
Really?
Yeah. I just decided.
Churches came to you or anything?
No, they did not. No, nowhere near me.
Just on your own?
On my own, and I'm right. This will be the first version of the Bible written all in chapstick. That's what I'm doing. It's grape chapstick.
Grape.
I work in grape. I work in grape. And we found some books, because the good names were all taken in the first Bible, you know. Nebuchadnezzar, guys like that.
Yeah.
So we have the Book of Linda. We found that. The Book of
Linda.
Book of Julio. And the Book of Debbie. And oddly enough, that's Debbie with an I.
Is that right?
Yeah. So they had vision, even in those days. There was vision.
And I think religious scholars all over the world are waiting.
Yeah, we're going to call it The Bible Rides Again. I thought you'd like that. But I have written a lot of things under a pen name. You know my pen name?
No.
Ballpoint. It's real cute, you know? Jimmy Ballpoint.
Jimmy Ballpoint.
Jimmy Ballpoint. And I wrote a lot of advice books. Some of them were big hits. People don't know it was me. Eat, Run, Stay Fit, and Die Anyway.
I remember that.
Right.
That was a big, big seller.
See, they know.
Yeah.
They know the book. They know the book. Then there was, these are kind of advice books, you know. The stains in your shorts can indicate your future. That was not as big a seller.
I can understand that.
Yeah. And I've written a lot of how-to books.
Oh.
When I got in on that craze. But there's so many of them. If you mind if I glance?
Oh, no, sure.
How to make 2 small hats out of a brassiere. And the follow-up, how to make a brassiere out of 2 small hats.
I can see where it would work either way, yeah.
How to kill a rat with a paper clip. You could use that here because you got that problem.
Yeah.
How to make a small salad out of your work pants.
Work pants.
Yeah, it's really
small salad.
Very, very limited sales.
Yeah.
How to fillet a panda. It's kind of a cooking thing. Yeah. Well, you got to know. So some people
Yeah,
need
you
to
might
know.
have to know, of course.
How to lease out the space inside your nose.
That can be done.
Yeah.
Some kind of a government grant, I'll bet.
You have to get a license.
Yeah.
And on top of the how-to books, I says, well, that craze is running out. I go to why, because how-to, why.
Why, yeah.
And we got a why book. Why you should never yodel during an electrical storm. Apparently there's been some deaths.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Were they Swiss?
There were 2 Swiss guys, oddly enough, with German T-shirts. Why you should never mambo with a policeman. I don't know why I did that.
Well, that
one.
just makes perfect
Yeah.
sense.
And why you should never give yourself a neck operation, but that's about the extent.
Well, I think it's just a matter of getting to it there. It'd be awkward.
With a mirror, you
Even
go
with a mirror, forget it.
reverse
Unless
image.
you're Annie Oakley or something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now, what kind of and I think I probably know the answer to this, but as a child, were you kind of unusual as a child?
I was off.
Off, yeah.
They would say, he's off. They would look at me and they'd say, he's off.
Oh.
They say, he's not playing with a full bag of jacks.
Yeah. Why do you think?
Well, first of all, my mother carried me very low. For the last 6 weeks. Well, yeah. No, my feet were sticking out the last 6 weeks. I swear. Swear to God.
Is that
Yeah. She was the only woman in the neighborhood had maternity shoes. And then, do you see this little fold? I got a little fold in my ear. It's not as prominent as it was, kind of folded over a little. Right. The doctor said that happened because right at the moment of conception, my parents fell off the hood of the car.
Oh.
So I wasn't right.
Well, that's more emotionally traumatizing
Yeah,
probably
I
than
think so,
anything.
yeah. And you know how your father would throw you up in the air and catch you?
Sure, yeah.
Mine would walk away. Walk away.
Throw you up and then take a hike.
Yeah, so I was off.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. It turned me into a loner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like Rodney, I'm there, you know.
Yeah, but you've done all right, I think.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm doing good.
Yeah.
But I had an imaginary friend. I didn't bother with him.
Really?
No. Let him get his own friends.
The hell with your imaginary
I don't need people like that.
Yeah.
That's right.
That makes some sense, I
Yeah.
guess.
I wasn't very good with girls. You know how you play doctor?
Oh, yeah.
I would always find something wrong with them. I found an aneurysm once, another time hypertrophic cardiomyopathy.
Well, you're saving lives, though. That's something for
Get this girl to the hospital.
Yeah, that's
Put her on a trike and get her over there.
Now, is there anything you want to mention upcoming before?
Laugh.com.
Laugh.com.
I want to talk about Laugh.com. Laugh.com is a website I'm involved with. It's for comedy, for and by and of comedians. Right. And there's a special posting going up right now. It's about what I'm thinking while I'm sitting here. Yeah, it's just going up. If someone goes to Laugh.com, they'll find out a little thing I'm doing. I say, dear people out there. And
this is what you're really thinking.
What's going through my mind.
Well, I'll be there.
And a little report. Oh, you're going to love it.
Good to see you.
It's nice to see you.
Thank you very much.
Dave.
George Carlin, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with Powderfinger. That sounded great. Fantastic. Thank you
very much. Not that bad.
I like that Richard Harris. I would love to be picked up in a bar when I'm 70.
Boy, I'll say, yeah.
And tonight, I realized that our guests on the show tonight look alike.
we realize that over here, too, yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Let's get the next one out.
Our next guest is a true comedy legend and looks a lot like our first guest. Tomorrow night, his 12th HBO special, Complaints and Grievances, airs live from the Beacon Theater here in New York City. Here's George Carlin, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The wisest man I ever knew told me something I never forgot. And although I never forgot it, I never quite memorized it either. So what I'm left with is having heard something really wise that I can't recall. That's all right. There's a new roach spray on the market. It doesn't kill the roaches, but it fills them with self-doubt as to whether or not they're in the right house. Want to have some fun? Go into a gift shop and ask for your gift. If you have chicken at lunch, and then for some reason you've had chicken again at dinner time, do you ever wonder if the two chickens knew each other? That's all right? Thank you. Some people see the glass as half empty. Some people see the glass as half full. I see the glass as too big. You know you have a drinking problem when you kill a man over a disagreement about Wheel of Fortune. Perhaps you read this in the newspaper recently concerning the 2000 census. They said that during that census, 1.6% of the population was not counted. How do they know that? Now you got You know how you get out of jury duty? Tell the judge the truth. Tell him you'll make a really good juror because you can spot guilty people just like that. Tell him it all depends on how far apart their eyes are. I was in a public restroom the other day, had to use the handicap stall. When I came out, someone said to me, "Are you handicapped?" I said, "Not anymore." If a really stupid person becomes senile, how do they know? You know you're in a small town when the restaurant closes at lunchtime so the waitress can go home and eat. Want to have a little fun? Stand on line at the bank for a really long time. When you finally get up to the window, just ask for change of a nickel. They actually call other employees over to look at you. You know you're in the wrong store when you look up on the wall and see one of your personal checks displayed as the reason they don't take personal checks.
If you had only one tooth left, would you brush it for a really long time? Here's how you get rid of counterfeit money. Put it in the collection plate at church. Yeah, they don't care. They give it to blind people. My mother was a woman of rare common sense. She once said to me, if the shoe fits, get another one just like it. Here's something not broadly known. George Washington's brother was the uncle of our country. Yeah, doing fine. You know what would be a lot of fun? Be a contestant on Jeopardy and just never buzz in. You know? Just stand there half an hour staring at the other two people. Be fun. Go into a gun store, buy a gun, then buy some ammunition, then ask them if they have any ski masks. You ever notice in some hotels they give you a little sewing kit? You know what I do? I sew the towels together.
George Carlin, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Thank you very much, George. Great stuff.
Thank you.
Very funny as always.
What a great audience tonight.
And this is the soundtrack from your HBO show that people will be able to buy later in December, I guess.
December 11th, the HBO show in audio form. It'll be in the stores.
And the show itself, again, it's your 12th, and it's Saturday night on HBO.
Yes, 10 o'clock.
Oh, I know it'll be a big success. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thanks very
George
much.
Carlin, everybody. Thanks to Richard Harris, and, of course, Regis and his staff from Regis and Kelly Live. We'll see you Monday with Kevin James and Deion Sanders. Have a great weekend. Good night, everybody.
My head hurts.